for the opportunity to share and be with you today. So my name is Mafalda Barbosa. I'm the CTO at Nova SBE, and I would like to share you what we are building for our future and how we see our connected campus. And we strongly believe that we must be constantly on the forefront of the innovation and digital transformation. I will walk you through four basic topics that we have been dedicated to. First, some digital trends that are inspiring us. In terms of foundations, our infrastructure and how it helps us to have a connected campus. And a project that led us to be more efficient, so a modern and class workplace. And because everything is connected, our blended and technology enhanced learning strategy. Going a little bit about the digital trends that are inspiring us. We all have heard a lot of offline traditional schools having, at least in the US, a declining of enrollments and all top schools moving to online. But more than that, we have been seeing some trends that help us and creating a meaningful learning experience for all our students. Namely, something that we have long been using, flipped and blended learning, and blended in the sense that we are building content for self-paced learn, and in addition to face-to-face learning. Gamification and simulation, so it's an important part of the process of learning that we have been seeing and already been using. A more collaborative learning process, peer learning and assessment. It's rising and it's quite important for the process of learning. Learning analytics for student success and to help the course structure and the faculty to help the student to be successful. A more customized learning experience. We have been doing that for some time with a very elaborated form of allowing our students to design their roads and their path, choosing their courses, bidding their credits on the more important and valued courses that they believe they need for their future. And this is also something that will evolve for a more adaptive learning experience. Augmented, virtual or mixed reality, in the sense that there are some immersive experiences that we believe that might be quite useful in the near future. And again, creating meaningful learning experience for all the students. In terms of our connected campus infrastructure, we see it as the foundations of everything. So we really had the opportunity when we moved to our new beautiful campus in Carcavelos to implement brand new platforms, brand new networks. So it is a software-defined network, but the point was it was planned to be thinking on the future with all the students with all their equipments, laptop, tablets, with their smartphones, whatever, connected in the class, in the gallery, in the cafeteria, outdoors. So the purpose of this project was to have good quality and of network. Cybersecurity as let's say a need. It's not so much we cannot evolve and be more exposed without investing time and resources to be more prepared. And last, but one of the most important decisions made in our on our foundations and our infrastructure was to be cloud by design. So our campus was foreseen as of course with an on-prem data center, but for only what is required to manage the campus platforms. But a true cloud data center, that's what we use. That's where we have all our applications. We use from platform as a service, software as a service, infrastructure as a service. We have gained so much with this flexibility to scale, to automate. When we have these seasonal pikes of computation needs for like the bidding I mentioned earlier, or in moments when we need to just have almost infinite resources in a very short time. So this was a precious decision that really helped us to overcome many challenges we have this last year. So this was 2018. This was stabilized, our move to Carcavelos in 2018 and 2019. So we wanted to go ahead. So we really believed in this concept of anywhere, and we wanted to transform the way we worked, the way we communicated, be more. Our goal was to implement the different forms of collaboration, such as virtual meetings, but also very simple things like that are always in our way to be more productive, like managing emails, managing files, being in a safe environment, being able to be more efficient. So in 2019, we were building as from within with our staff a new way to work, and this was very helpful when we had to go for the lockdown, of course, the following year. But all teams and departments had their own team workspace built upon Microsoft 365. We set up SharePoint with the information of in a new concept of intranet. So it was an awesome project. So this was a first phase, more focused on being more productive for staff and management of the school. And then we moved for the class workplace. And the focus year was, so this was 2020, making sure that we had our learning management system in addition with Microsoft 365, where students were evolving in terms of collaboration, if needed for remote classes, and it was used to do that. Our simple things like the class streaming when students had to stay at home or something similar, or if the sessions were to be recorded, we used Microsoft Stream also, not only because it was fully integrated, but because it helped us to be more secure in terms of the protection of the content that was being recorded, in terms of intellectual property of the rights of the content that was being recorded. And that was very important for us. And everything is connected. And basically, when the lockdown came, everyone had to go for remote classes. We also went for remote exams. Everything kept their schedules. But we had a strategy designed and foreseen for a blended and technology enhanced learning. And in that sense, this 2020 year was accelerated mode. This was built up in accelerated mode. So our strategy passes to have classes face-to-face on campus, but with a component that is self-paced and asynchronous online prepared information and content and all sorts of contents of the courses. And how did we do that? We prepared and set up a very agile momentum with an online studio for educational transformation. What this is the name of the code name of the project, online studio for education transformation initiative, and we were being very straightforward in this process. So this was already being sought for. So it was not all built in the moment. We tried to set up this as a agile production factory mode, helping also in e-learning mode, in this case for the course instructors to have their own time and foreseeing them as beginners or experts, and to have all their journeys defined with resources to help them, and then with a team to help them to build. We recorded content. We had authoring tools for using voiceover the content, to do video recording, to elaborate and design formulas, to use simple things like a whiteboard or formative quizzes, all integrating in one hand. So we also reformed our way we helped students to change the way that we learn and the way we should help the students to do this self-paced learning in addition to the face-to-face learning. And this was basically the way we went forward. And in overall, and this new campus, connected campus, we are still moving forward. So this isn't stop, it didn't end, this is just the beginning. And it was foreseen, or at least it is our strong belief, that the strategy for a digital world has to go with digital enablement growing in a sustainable and digital transformation. And we begin this with the move to Carcavelos in 2018. We have much more challenges today that we are working on and want to work on, namely learning analytics, helping the students to and also the course instruction to be more efficient in this collaborative environment that I mentioned, and much more. So this was a little bit of a glimpse of our journey, and that started before 2018, but this was the road defined. And basically, this is what I wanted to share. I invited everyone that after these pandemics to visit us. Thank you.
Okay, Mafalda, thank you very much. Now I will start my presentation. To be honest, I was not completely prepared for an English presentation, so I'm using a Portuguese one. But I will keep my speech in English if there's no problem with it. So I will share my screen. So I will start my presentation. I'm going to talk a little bit about the technology in and for the teaching process. And I will be also making some remarks concerning what we can call the old normal of the distance learning education. So I'm coming from Universidade Aberta, which is the youngest public Portuguese university and completely focused on distance learning and e-learning. And Universidade Aberta offers a huge and diverse higher education set of courses, from the first degree to doctorate courses, and also long life learning courses in different knowledge areas. So we used to say that Universidade Aberta is a university of the future and with a lot of future that uses technologies of last generation to promote education, capacitation, and knowledge. I prepared this small agenda. I'm going to talk of the two main pillars of our university, which are the pedagogical virtual model and technology. And of course, what are we preparing for the future, which will also, I think, will be something of interest for you. So talking about our pedagogical virtual model, which is something of a crucial importance for us, it is based on 4 pillars. The first one is that we focus everything on the student. So all the learning process is centered on the student. And we consider it is an active individual, and he has to assume a commitment concerning the learning process, and he has to understand that he will be inserted in the community of learning. The second pillar is flexibility. Flexibility because the student will be able to learn when he wants or when he was available to do it and wherever he is. So there's no constraints in terms of time or physical location. So he can do it whenever he wants and wherever he is. Then we have the third pillar, which is interaction. Interaction is also a very important part of the model because we promote interaction between student and content, interaction between student and professor, and of course, interaction between student and student. And we do it creating communities or discussion groups inside every virtual class. And at last, we have the digital inclusion. So to be a student in this model and in the Universidade Aberta, of course, the student needs to have available the modern networking means and be able to promote and use working in network. So it will be completely involved, and we are at the same time promoting the digital inclusion in our own society. We have special courses to prepare students for the first time they came to the university to get the first feeling and touch with the systems he will be using during his course. Then we have technology. Of course, we are a university that operates, I would say, in the cloud because we are a distance learning university. So we have been building a full information system. Of course, at the center of this information system, we have an LMS, a learning management system. On top of it, we developed a huge set of new functionalities to be able to implement the support, the proper support to our pedagogical virtual model. Of course, this LMS system is already integrated with the academical management system, which has been coming from a third party, but we built the integration between these systems. And of course, we have an ERP system to manage completely the university. Also, we have a different system to manage the library. And we have a set of other small systems just to allow our students to be completely in touch and in contact with the university, but at home, wherever he lives. So we have students coming from, I would say, all over the world, and he's able to deal with any aspect of the contact with the university just using these systems. We used to call this the virtual campus. So we say Universidade Aberta offers a virtual campus to each new student where he finds easily all access to all services he needs to. But of course, we have to think we are now living in a very different world. We are living in the COVID-19 world, and we can call this world a new normal world, or as we like to say it in Universidade Aberta, the old normal for us. Why is it an old normal for us? Well, because we got no disturbance in our teaching process or in our learning process, because we were already doing distance learning when all of this started. And what we saw was that our old normal has been adopted as the new normal by many schools. And we have been promoting training for some thousands of teachers during the last year, helping them to understand how can they use our pedagogical model and how can they adapt what they are used to do, which is this synchronous teaching presential mode, to a more hybrid model. And of course, this allowed us also to confirm something we already knew. It's the fact that all the work students, they prefer the distance learning model, mainly because of this flexibility, which is one of the pillars of our pedagogical model. But what will happen after this pandemic gets controlled? I would say that, well, nothing will become normal again as it was before this COVID-19 era. So I would say that we have to take a little bit closer look into this convergence of technologies like Internet of Things, big data, cloud services and applications, 5G, machine learning, and so on, to understand that many institutions around the world are already using artificial intelligence to support higher education activities. We thought this is so important that we decided to take a closer look and understand that, as some examples, we could find already, and well, Mafalda already told us that they were using learning analytics, for instance, but we saw some examples of other institutions who are already using augmented writing or adaptive learning technology or even virtual tutoring as just an examples, because there are many other examples to better support the teaching processes. So we decided to launch a project. In this project, we are working with the Open University and at the same time with the Smart Learning from Denmark. And we are trying to understand how is artificial intelligence being used in higher education institutions in these three countries. And we already identified at least three cases in each country of different means of usage of artificial intelligence. And we are focused on this topic because we believe that artificial intelligence will show us a little bit the way of the future for at least our distance learning process. And thank you very much.